Hi there, and welcome to Hearthside Blog. My name is Michelle, and I'm the author on this blog, and today I want to talk about ancestors, and in particular, I want to focus on shared ancestors within communities and ancestors of place. So for me, ancestors mean a lot of different things. They can mean the ancestors in your direct lineage, but also shared ancestors within your tribe and shared ancestors within a broader community, whether that is the city you live in, province, or even nation. And when it comes to spirits of place, I think that there is some overlap with ancestors there as well, in that over time the names and deeds of ancestors in places are forgotten, but sometimes we can still feel their presence, and there may be folk traditions that develop towards that presence without actually remembering the names. So this particular entry was sparked by some unfortunate things going on in the broader heathen community, to do with ancestor veneration at the community level in an unhealthy way, but I'm hoping to talk about it as how it can be beneficial to the community as well, and sort of rethink those thought processes within our community. So, there are ancestors, if you're in a tribe or kindred, that are shared ancestors, and because our frith is linked, then we share connections between the ancestors of all the members of our tribe. This helps create cohesion and belonging within the group, and our ancestors in this context would seek to make us better and improve our luck. They would help us to heal what needs to be healed and to grow as a community. At a larger community level, if we're looking at like the town you're from, the province you're from, then usually the ancestors that are venerated would be either ancestors of place or local folk heroes, and the people who are venerating them sometimes aren't really familiar with the practice of ancestor veneration, but they just somehow feel drawn to participating in those actions and those gifting cycles without actually realizing what they're doing. I think that it's something deeply human to want to feel like you belong. And so the pull to venerate ancestors and beings of place in this way is something that we just intuitively do sometimes. I can give a few examples within the Canadian community. So on the national level, the most obvious example would be the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. Everyone knows to leave their poppy there on Remembrance Day. Sometimes they might leave other gifts as well, and everybody just knows that that space is sacred. Myself, I'm from the province of Manitoba, and I think it gets even more interesting when you're at a local level, to see what kind of spirits of place and folk heroes are getting venerated and in what ways. So an example here in Manitoba is the tomb of Louis Riel. It gets many visitors every single day, and often there are gifts that are left there, whether they're tobacco, food, candles, money, flowers. And not all the people who are leaving these gifts are Métis, as Louis Riel was. They could be from many different groups of people, and they feel the connection to this person and to the history of this place. So for those of you who are not familiar with Louis Riel, he is a bit of a controversial figure, as most folk heroes are. To some, he was considered a traitor, and to others, he was considered a father of Confederation. And what is without doubt is that his actions definitely helped to shape Manitoba as it is today. So people feel connected to his story, and to the shared history of the community. Another example that I have that is on the local level in Manitoba is there is a place in one of the provincial parks that is called Bannock Point, and there are a bunch of petroforms on the rocks of different animals, different shapes that are made out of stone, and people are able to go there. This was a sacred site for Indigenous people for thousands of years, and a gathering place of sorts, and now it's public access, so anyone can go there. And I always find it interesting when I'm going there. There's this one rock right at the entrance of the site, and it's like people just know that they should leave something there as they enter the site. And I like to observe people, because most people are not even aware of what they're doing, but they feel that need to leave something, and they will even tell other people who have never visited the site that they have to leave something when they enter, and they don't really know why. So this is what I mean. It's like this intuitive knowing that there's that connection there, whether or not you understand what it's about. So these are examples of how ancestor veneration within a community can be very beneficial to all of us, and to community cohesion and sense of belonging. But unfortunately, because we all have these feelings, and because not everyone really understands how ancestor veneration works, or that feeling of belonging and how to engage with it in a healthy manner, we have to be careful, because there are people who will realize that and act in predatory ways in order to use that to their advantage and to shape you to their ends, basically. So when you are starting out with a new group in heathenry, or even more generally, whether it's like a club, a gym, anything that you might join up, and they're building that sense of community, if there's that aspect of ancestor veneration on some level, you need to look at how that is being approached, and who are the people that this community is venerating. Are these people who are healthy ancestors, or are they unwell ancestors, and ancestors who require healing but are being venerated without that healing being done? So the best way to really determine whether this is what's happening or not is look at what that veneration is doing within your community. Is it building a cohesive community, or is that veneration actually acting as a way of exclusion for other people? And so that could be on the grounds of religion, that you're excluding people, race, sexuality, gender, or social status or class. And who is that person that you're venerating? What did they stand for? Did they believe that certain other people should be excluded? Did they ever change that belief in their lifetime? It's possible for that healing to be done after death, but that requires the effort of the entire community, and if that effort isn't being made, then that tells you something about that community that you're a part of. And if you feel that the veneration of a certain individual or certain individuals is something that is acting to exclude others, then you need to really take a step back and think about your own values, and if this aligns with your own values. It's really easy to want to do something, to want to feel that sense of belonging, and that is where predatory people come into play, trying to manipulate you into feeling that sense of cohesion in a group that is requiring you to sacrifice some of your values in the process. So if your inclusion requires you to sacrifice the inclusion of others, then you need to really look at that and go, what are my options? And sometimes it feels like that is your only option, and I want to tell you right now, that's not the case. There's always other communities out there, even if it seems like there isn't. You have to keep looking, and if you really can't find any, then you should start your own, and people will find you, because there are so many people out there who want to act in an inclusive manner and who want to feel that sense of belonging as well. So this is what it really comes down to. If you're doing this to feel included, but you're excluding others, then it's an unhealthy veneration of ancestors, one that requires healing. And if that healing's not being done, then it's not the right space for you. It's not really the right space for anyone, and it's going to hurt everyone who's involved. Once you are involved in the veneration of a shared ancestor that is bringing community together, once you are a part of venerating ancestors on a larger scale with a well ancestor, then you will feel it, and you will feel all the people who came before you, how you're connected to all of them, the web of weird that develops around that healthy veneration. If you ever visit one of the sites that I mentioned, or another one similar in your area, you will feel that energy in that place. Even if you don't understand ancestor veneration, you will know that you are belonging to something greater than yourself, and you will feel that humility and humbleness in that place as you feel your small part of being connected in that web. So yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to say in here. I did link a few things down below that are related. I didn't actually use any sources on this. This is just me ranting a little bit. But you're welcome to check them out, and I will see you next time.